people how to set up appointments. Maybe you're brand new and you need to learn why or how to overcome objections or whatever it is. Because if there's a bunch of you guys that are looking for the same thing, I can kind of focus my attention and time there and make it a little bit more effective and more powerful for you guys. Set up appointment. So what are you guys hoping to get out of the call here? More successful KT appointments, teach people better, KTs, past fear of objections, duplication. Perfect. All right, guys, cool. So I have no more waiting room. Y'all have the chat. You can rename yourself. You can start videos. Perfect. Okay. So let's get this thing going. So we're going through that appointment setting boot camp, guys. I know I already said that like 8 times, but we're here for the appointment setting boot camp. I'm going to teach you guys everything that I know about how to set appointments, guys. And Andy told me, if you don't know who Andy is, he's the guy that trained me, but Andy told me when I started, John, he said, Dan, if you just do what I tell you to do and you set up appointments the way that I tell you to set them up, and you actually master what we're going to talk about here today, you'll make 100 grand in the next 12 months. And he told me that probably every day for the first 30 days of me being in Primerica. And the craziest thing, Rosemary, is I was dumb enough to listen to him. And we went out and we did everything. And we actually made $130,000 in our first 12 months in Primerica. Now, that's not a guarantee. I'm not telling you it's going to happen for you. I'm just telling you it is possible. You could do that. We did it. The reality is, guys, let's be real here. If you made an extra $1,000 a month by learning how to set up appointments, would that be worth your time? Put in the Zoom chat, yes or no. Would that be worth your time? Josh, don't let me see you putting stuff in the Zoom chat while you're driving that little metal container down the highway, bro. Don't. we don't need to call the ambulance. All right. But so, all right, guys. So let's get this thing rocking and rolling. So guys, everything that you want is outside of your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is where you're at right now. Your comfort zone is also the reality of all of your current choices, all of your current areas of life, all of the reality that you currently live in is a result of you being inside of your comfort zone for the bulk of the better part of your life up until this point, right? Because guys, we are a accumulation of our choices. All right. So like if you're living in your comfort zone right now and you're not comfortable, then you that is exactly what it is, right? It's comfortable because it doesn't make us uncomfortable in a sense of like mentally, but maybe we're not paying our bills. Maybe we're not doing what we need to do. Maybe we don't have the thriving relationships that we want. There's a lot of different possibilities here, guys. But the reality is if you're living inside of your comfort zone, you're probably leaving a lot on the table. And you probably also know that subconsciously, right? Where you're like, man, I could be performing at a little bit of a higher level, but I'm just really comfortable. You know, bills are paid. My spouse and I have a great relationship and everything's good, but there's more there, right? Like if you've ever felt like there's more that is there for your life that you haven't accessed yet, just type me in the Zoom chat, guys, because that was definitely Taylor and I before COVID. I loved our gym. I mean, I still do love our gym, honestly. Like I hope they succeed. But for me, guys, I knew there was more, but I didn't know what it was. And I kind of started to feel like a little bit of a zombie, to be honest with you. I was just kind of going through life, doing the things that I thought I was supposed to do, thinking I'd break out of this funk. But guys, what happened was during COVID, I got kind of forced to grow because I had to adapt our business to an environment that nobody knew what was happening. Nobody knew how to handle it, and just a whole lot of crap, right? And we don't need to go down that rabbit hole right now, but I had to learn how to adapt quickly, set new goals, conquer things that were really difficult, get back to my purpose of why we started the gym, and really drive through that, guys. And through that, I learned a lot of skills that helped me here. Okay, so you got to go through those same learning curves that I did, guys. And so the time is now. The time for you to grow your business is right now, guys. Don't wait for next month. Don't wait to figure it out. Taylor just kicked a Build-A-Bear skateboard across the floor. It threw me off. It's confusing. That's okay. Everything's happening out here. It's wild. So guys, you can make your first $650. God's honest truth. If you're not licensed yet, you could make your first $650 literally this weekend if you really wanted to. And I'm going to give you guys the goals, or not the goals. I'm going to give you guys the words to say, how to do it, how to set up those appointments so you can get there, guys. And in your first 5 days, we want to help you guys get 3 recruits, 3 clients, double your pay, 100% increase in your pay grade, and get you a $650 in bonus banked money. Okay, so maybe you're not brand new anymore, right? Maybe you've been here for a couple weeks, you made it to a few meetings, and you're not yet licensed. That's awesome. Listen, Like, you got to understand that you could take today, and today could be the day that you decide to go get 3x3 in the next 5 days. Honestly, you can. Guys, it's not that hard to do that. And guys, what we need to do is we need to understand that you're easy 3 for a G, right? So how can you make a grand super quick? Number one, it's the top 3 easiest people for you to recruit, right? This might be like your friend that says they hate their job or they're broke or whatever. So maybe somebody that wants to make a little bit of extra cash, business owner that you know that's looking for something different. I mean, really, like, even COVID is still a thing in some places. It's crazy, and they need extra cash, right? And so reaching out to those people, or 3 people that would just work with you just because it's you, right? Who are those 3 people? And then 3 personal kitchen table appointments, right? That you are field observing on, that you bring to the table. $3,000 in premium. It's the top 3 easiest people for you to go out and present to, guys. This typically is mom, dad, brother, sister, cousin, aunts, uncles, family members, and close friends. I know that sometimes we get in our head about, I don't want to talk to my family about this, whatever. I get it, guys. I really do. But at the end of the day, it's not about selling. It's about showing. And the likelihood of them coming on an appointment with us, learning what we do, seeing the value of what we do, and moving forward is very high, guys. And so we give the ability for you to do that. And they're going to be your first clients. They're also going to give you referrals, and you're going to make $1,000 in doing that, guys. A lot of people are still at home right now. I understand some people are going back to work in person, but the reality is most people got really comfortable during COVID working from home, and they're having to go back into work, right? And so how many people do you think that you guys know that would want to make extra money from home? Right? They want to generate extra cash from home. They want to be able to stay home with their kids. They want to be able to travel and work whenever they want to. Guys, an appointment setting is the most important skill. I really do believe that if you can master how to set appointments, you can master every other piece of this business. I really do, because appointment setting is fundamental to our business, and so is everything else, but nothing else happens if you can't set the appointments. Does that make sense, guys? It's like building your house on sand. If you don't have the solid foundation of appointment setting, you are never going to get to where you want to go. And I'm not trying to be mean or negative. I'm just being a realist here for you guys. You have to understand that if you cannot set up appointments, you're not going to get to where you want to go. Everything starts with an appointment. Everybody type that in the Zoom chat. Everything starts with an appointment, because that is where everything in your business begins. You can't recruit somebody without getting on an appointment. Yes or no? Right? You cannot possibly close a kitchen table appointment without getting on an appointment. Right? You can't give an orientation without getting on an appointment. You can't close business without getting on an appointment. It's not possible. You must get on the appointment. And this is a participation Zoom call this morning. 14 of you typed it in the Zoom chat. There's 27 of you guys on, which means half of you aren't paying attention, guys. This is our team, so I can be a little bit more direct, right? It's my team. Y'all, listen. You're wondering why, hey, I'm not making the money I want to yet. I'm not where I want to be. It's because 50% of the people on the call can't type a sentence in a Zoom chat box. I know it sounds ridiculous. So guys, listen, like when I say, hey, type something in the chat, do that, guys. Listen, it's being coachable. It's pulling you back to the call. So guys, do what we're telling you to do here. It's going to help you. I promise. Guys, the good news about appointment setting is it is a skill. Everybody type skill in the Zoom chat. If you're like, Dan, I'm struggling right now to set up appointments, that's awesome. You can choose to stay struggling, or you can choose to get better, right? And the reality is, if you choose to get better, all you got to do is get reps, right? It's like if you've ever played sports, you don't just get better at throwing a football by not throwing a football or by watching YouTube videos about how to throw a football, right? That might help you, but that's not going to get you better. Does that make sense? Like, you got to understand that you going out and you actually throwing that football is going to be what actually increases your skills. All right. And so guys, you going out and you actually picking up your damn phone and making a call is going to be what helps you set that appointment, guys. A lot of you guys at the beginning of this, I said, what are you wanting to get out of today? A lot of you guys said, I want to learn how to I want to learn how to get more consistent kitchen table appointments. I would be willing to bet that you're not getting consistent KT appointments or life insurance appointments or whatever it is you want to call them. You're not getting those, guys. Why? Because we aren't picking up the phone and going after the reps. Right? We're watching the YouTube video on how to do the thing rather than actually doing the thing. Does that make sense? we have to be like just relentless with what we're trying to get after, guys. You have to understand that it's up to you. Okay, guys, you need to master the appointment setting audio, the appointment setting script. You should be able to set 8 out of 10 appointments that you call. You should be able to set those up. So like Jenna, if I call you, I'm setting an appointment. Tammy, I call you, I set an appointment. Amanda, I call you, I set an appointment. Angie, I call you. Brian, I call you. Josh, I call you. I'm going to set an appointment with you. Why? Because I have the skill. I can, like, almost every single person that I call, I set up an appointment because I've gotten that skill down. Does that mean they all stick? No. Does that mean that they all close? No. But I know, Amanda, that when I make the decision to pick up my damn phone and make the calls, I will set up the appointments. And if I set up an appointment, guys, is it more or less likely for an appointment to show up if I set it on the calendar or not? Right? If I set up an appointment on the calendar, it is more likely to show up than one that's not ever set, correct? So why would I not learn the skill to get the appointments on the calendar to have a higher likelihood of closing the business? Does this make sense, guys? Are you following me right now? Some of y'all are still sleeping in your beds. But guys, listen, the appointment setting rule, this is the rule, ready? If you talk to 2 people and you don't set up 2 consecutive appointments. So Tammy, that means you call Angie and you don't set the appointment, then you call Brian and you don't set the appointment, right? You need to call your trainer like right now and say, hey, I didn't set the appointment. I called 2 in a row. It didn't go through. What happened? Help me. And your trainer is going to tell you to, hey, what are you saying? I would be more than willing to bet. I'm unsharing or not unsharing, but I'm making it small for just a second. I would be willing to bet that with the amount of people on this call right now, I could literally just pick on someone and say, set an appointment with me, and it would not sound anything remotely like what it should. Just because there's a lot of new people on here. There's a lot of people that are still learning the skills, but I could be like, Seth, set an appointment, unmute yourself, set an appointment on me right now. And you might die a little bit on the inside, right? I'm not trying to pick on Seth necessarily, but Seth just passed his exam this morning. So if he wants to make money, he's got to learn how to set the appointments, right, Seth? So we got to get this out there, guys. But the reality is you all are capable of learning it, right? So you're capable to learn it. So maybe you don't have the skill right this second, but guess what? That's awesome because you can learn the skill, right? And if you don't call your trainer, if you're burning through your market by calling and trying to set up appointments, Brian, and what's happening is it's like, dude, they're not setting. And you call everyone in your phone and you don't set up any appointments because you're not following the script. You have effectively just ripped through your market. And Amanda, you're not going to have people to talk to, and it's going to be frustrating. And we're going to be like, oh crap, now what do I do? Right? That's where people get to that point of like, okay, now what? Right? It's not that they don't necessarily, it's not that they're not doing the right stuff. It's that they're trying to set the appointments, but they're not on the script somewhere. Okay. That's just a fact. So we have to understand that your appointments equal your referrals, right, Keith? So if we go on appointments with you, you should be getting referrals from those. And they might not, Luke, you and I might go on an appointment tomorrow and we might not get any referrals, but in 6 months down the road, they might send you a $500,000 rollover, right? But the only way they're going to know that you do what you do is because you got on the appointment. Because if we never get on the appointment, we can never possibly set an appointment, right? That's not possible. If you never get on the appointment, they can't give you a referral. That's what I meant to say. Sorry. If you never get on the appointment, they don't know what you do. So how the heck are they going to refer anybody to you, right? So guys, it's important that at a fundamental level, we understand what an appointment is. This is driving me nuts. I like clicking through my Zoom boxes to see your faces while I talk and not look at the same people over and over again. But what is an appointment? What is an appointment, right? It is a place that you go to present to a couple or an individual, right? So on an appointment, you present to a couple or an individual, right? It is not a text message. It's always a phone call. I understand that, like, we set up appointments over Messenger sometimes through our social media scripts and stuff like that. That's awesome. I definitely get that, but we need to make sure that we are following the style and the script here, guys, by calling people on the phone. How many of you guys have ever gotten left on red on a message? Anyone? Or is it just me? Where you send them a message and they don't respond? Does that happen to anybody else? Right, exactly. They can't do that to you on a phone call. They would have to literally hang up on you. I've never been hung up on trying to set an appointment. Okay. I would be willing to bet that collectively I've probably called, I would bet very close to, if not more than everybody on this call combined over the last 2 years. And I've not one time ever been hung up on asking for help. Okay. So on the phone, you have your skill set that works for you. Here's the reality for some of us. That's a good thing, right? You have your skill set that you can work, that you get to work with on this. Here's the reality for the other half of us. That's not a good thing. That's a bad thing because your skill set's weak, right? And again, this is a good thing that we know that it's a skill set, right? Is that because your skills you can get better at. Yes or no? Right? You can develop a skill. And guys, that's the reality, is on the phone, you can get better. You might be somebody where you're like, I'm really shy. I don't have the confidence to talk to people. I really don't want to make phone calls, but you could make a decision. Guys, it's a decision. Everybody type decision in the chat. If you can't spell it, that's fine. Do your best. If you can't spell it, Connie will reach out to you for private tutoring sessions, right, Connie? But guys, if you just realize that the decision you have to make is to get better at appointment setting, everything is you're going to start to get easier in this business. Why? Because you're going to start to develop the skill to build the business. It's the craziest thing. And it's always on the phone. Why? Because if you start it over social media or Facebook, a lot of times, guys, it's very difficult to present the value over the phone. Or sorry, over a text message. So we need to give them the explanation over the phone. Hey, I started working part-time, blah, blah, blah. Can you help me, right? And that's really the process. And on top of that, guys, if you're on the phone, you can talk to them, and it doesn't need to be, it should be compliant. But if you say something wrong by accident, right? And let's just be honest, a lot of you guys are brand new, and you're going to say something probably that might not be the most compliant sentence on the face of the earth. And the reality here is, I'm not trying to have you getting in trouble. I want you to make sure that you're good to go, right? Now, if you convert that over, it's compliant. There we go. Okay, sorry. And guys, a lot of times we make mistakes because we don't know what we're doing, not because we're doing the wrong thing on purpose. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not training you guys to do the wrong stuff. I'm training you to do the right stuff, but you haven't done enough reps that you do it wrong. Right? Like if we all put on hockey skates and we took ice skates and sticks and pucks out to a ice skating arena and we all tried to play hockey, it probably wouldn't be the prettiest sight, right? But if we took a couple weeks and we learned how to ice skate, we learned how to shoot and pass with a hockey stick, it'd probably be better, and you would be doing things the best of your ability with the skill level that you have. And the best part about that is you can get better, right? It's learning a new skill. It's learning how to knit, right? It's learning how to do your underwater basket weaving classes or whatever it is that you like to do, right? You can get better over time. You can't just sit here and expect to be the best person at setting appointments day number one. The likelihood is that's not going to happen. And guys, on the phone, you control the conversation. In a text message, you both have equal control. They can walk away from that text message at any time and not respond to you. On a phone call, they cannot do that, guys. So the prerequisites, number one, you have to understand the rules of the game, right? So the rules of the game are you have one shot to set the appointment. Okay, you could wish that you had more than one, or you could just realize that, hey, I got one shot to set this up the right way. And if I do it wrong, I'm going to have to do some damage control if I ever want to get in front of this person again. Okay. Some of you guys already burnt some bridges. I don't want to say burnt some bridges. That's the wrong word. But some of you guys tried to set appointments the wrong way already, and that's okay. You can come back and fix that. We can talk about that at the end. But understand that if you're brand new, you have one shot to set up appointments with people. So don't wish that it's different. Just understand I have one shot, so I'm going to get good at this, and I'm going to train this and develop this skill with my trainer, right? Your job is to set an appointment. Your job is not to close business. Your job is not to recruit them. Your job is not to sell life insurance over the phone. Your job is not to set up an investment. Your only job, everybody type only job in the Zoom chat. Your only job is to set up an appointment with you and your trainer. That is it. My only job is to set up an appointment with me and my trainer, right? That is it. Guys, you have to have a made up mind and go off your instinct. Guys, you need to understand that convinced people convince people. If you're going into this thing like, I don't think Primerica works, the life insurance is bad, the investments aren't good, I don't know if you're going to make any money, guess what's going to come across in your tonality when you're trying to set up the appointments? You're going to sound like a weak, flimsy person, and nobody's going to want to follow you. Art Williams, my favorite quote, literally, it's the corniest quote, and I used to think it was the dumbest saying ever. My favorite Art Williams quote is, nobody's going to follow a negative, frustrated, disillusioned, dadgum crybaby. Like, it is so true, though, because how many times have you found yourself following somebody that's negative, grumpy, they don't follow through, they're always questioning the realness of things? Never, right? So why in the hell would somebody want to follow you if you're like that? The reality is, most likely, you probably don't have a whole lot of track record of success of why somebody should follow you being negative, right? Right? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being real. Like, you have to be positive, excited. Like Art Williams says all the times, you got to be the most excited person in the room. Like, it's crazy. Last night we went out to a brewery at my cousin's like wedding weekend thing, and I got 7 names and numbers just walking around the bar. Taylor, I don't even think Taylor knew I did that. I was just walking around. I just would go walk around and I'd be happy and excited. I would run into somebody, I'd talk to them, I'd get their name and number. Why? Because it's a list building business, and I'm excited everywhere I go. I'm positive. That is like, I'm allergic to that, guys. You got to understand, like, I'm the most introverted person by nature. I want to do nothing but just sit down and play video games and work out. That's it. I don't want to do anything else. But I've trained myself, Seth, to get good at talking to people, because that's where everything in this business starts. Does that make sense to you? Like, you guys got to understand that everything starts by you being convinced that you can help somebody get to where they're trying to go through the Primerica vehicle. If you don't believe that in your heart of hearts, it's going to come across on the phone as you're not sure, and not sure sounds like can't. Does that make sense? If you don't know, that is a no. Okay, you got to understand, guys, like, Primerica works. Like, there are 6,500 plus people that make 100 grand a year or more in Primerica. To think that it doesn't work is crazy. The problem is that we don't work consistently, so we don't make the money, we don't have the impact, right? That's the issue. It's not that going to the gym doesn't work. It's that when we leave the gym, we go to Little Caesars or we go to McDonald's and we get a Big Mac on the way home. That's why we keep staying at the same weight or gaining, right? It's the reality that it's up to us, right? Which I've said 7 or 8 times over this call. It's up to you to get better. We all have busy lives. We all have busy schedules. We all have crap going on. But at the end of the day, it's up to us. And that's a blessing and a curse, right? Because you could say, man, I'm not where I want to be right now. Well, cool. It's up to you to fix that. Right. And you could say, well, hey, I'm right where I want to be. Awesome. It's up to you to keep going. Right. You have to have a made up mind, and you got to be convinced that you're going to set up that appointment and that you're going to have success, guys. And if people knew what we would be doing for them on the appointments, they would be calling you. Yes or no? If you don't believe that, you should really log off this call right now. I'm just being honest. I love you, but you should definitely not be here right now. You need to go set up an FNA and watch how powerful what we do really is. Because, guys, for real, like, if people really knew what we would do for them in that 45-minute phone call, they would be lining up. Yeah, they'd be sitting in your waiting room all day long, hoping that you would let them in, right? Because the reality is, guys, we make a massive impact on people, guys. There's 2 types of appointments. The first one is a kitchen table appointment. So everybody type kitchen table. Kitchen table appointments, guys, they're appointments for products. Okay, so products and services. This is for life insurance, investments, wills, identity theft protection, senior health care, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? All the different services that we provide. Okay, so if you're new, you need to be writing this stuff down, because this next like 10 minutes of this is going to be very dense with information. So kitchen table is where you're going to set up that appointment. Okay, that's where you're going to go to talk about products. The recruit appointment is every other type of appointment, guys. But you got to understand that both types of appointments, we do both things, but it's how you approach the person, right? So, like, I'm going to pick on 2 people, just not in a mean way, but like, first off, Angie Pangborn, like, married, has kids, owns a house, has a job, makes decent money. Like, so that would not necessarily be a recruit call that I would call her to schedule a recruit appointment. Why? She's married, has children, owns a home. It needs to be set up as a kitchen table for products first. But then she comes into the business and she sees what we do, and I could recruit her because of the need for her to have additional income. Does that make sense? Is everybody following me here? Now let's look at like Luke. So like Luke, for instance, like Luke, how you're what, 18, 19? 18? You can't unmute yourself. I turned it off, but he's 18 or 19 years old in college. And at the end of the day, guys, like, I could talk to him about kitchen table appointments. I could talk to him about investing and insurance and all that stuff. And the reality is most people 18, 19, 20 years old, and even a little bit older than that, aren't thinking about that stuff right now, right? Let's just be real. Think back to when you were in college, just graduating high school. Did you like run down to the State Farm office to get yourself a life insurance policy? Probably not, right? You went out and you spent all your money at the bar, let's be honest. Or you went out and you bought books or whatever, the chess club, I don't know, whatever you're into, but you probably didn't go out to plan for your financial future for your family. And that's not to say that Luke doesn't see value in doing that. It's just to say that generally that demographic, like Luke's demographic that he lives in, is a recruit first, product second. And then opposite for Angie. Angie's like married, kids, job, all that. That demographic is typically products first, recruit on the back end. You recruit to the need. You show them that they need to make $700 a month to invest, and then you recruit them to do that. Does that make sense, guys? Are you following me? Type yes or no in the Zoom chat if that makes sense, please. Because, guys, you have to understand that if you set up the appointment, if I set up a recruit appointment with Angie, who's my best friend, and I don't approach them the right way, I might burn the ability to be able to talk to them, at least until I go out and I start making money and I start really showing that this thing works before they'll take me seriously. But if I set it up the right way, I can take my trainer, who's the person that gets the credibility, not me. Why? Because, guys, this was the hardest reality for me to hear when I started this business, but it was probably the one key that unlocked it for me. Your family does not know you as a financial services professional. Your family knows you as the baseball coach, as the college kid, as the nurse, as the mechanic, as the person that's always struggling financially, as whatever, right? So why should they listen to you about insurance and investments? Let's be real, guys. Right now, they probably shouldn't. I'll just say that, right? But you have your trainer that you can take with you, right? So Seth, you take your trainer with you. Your trainer is the professional. Your trainer started one damn day before you, but your family doesn't know that, right? So you bring your trainer with you. You give the credibility to the trainer. The trainer gives the same presentation that you're going to give, but because your family doesn't know your trainer out of any context other than they're a financial services person, they know you as the person that's worked at McDonald's for 30 years or 40 years or whatever. I'm not trying to be mean to anybody, but you understand what I'm saying here. They know you as the nurse. They know you as the city council member, whatever. They don't know you as the financial services professional, right? So they're not going to listen to you. Naturally, their guard is up. But when you bring that third-party credibility person with you, this person, you edify them, and now your family listens to that person. And they're going to say the same thing that you would say, but they're going to listen to your trainer over you. It's not because they don't like you. It's because they've watched you go through all of your ups and downs and your struggles and everything else. It's not a knock on you. It's just a fact. It's the truth. So understand the rules of the game, right? You can understand that that's how it is, or you could wish it was different. The sooner you understand that that's how it is, the faster you're going to get big here. Okay? Take your trainer. Stop holding back on setting up appointments for people that you love because you want to go out and help them. Look, they're your clients. You're going to get money off of it. You're going to get referrals and promotions from that. Take your trainer, protect your family, get clients and get referrals. Stop holding back on that, guys, because that's why you're not where you want to be yet, is because your selfishness in the business is holding you back. I'm just going to be honest. That's a broke mindset. That's not an abundant mindset. I don't give a shit who talks to somebody. I'm just going to be honest with you guys for a second. Sorry, I'm going way off the script right now, but I will give up appointments all day long. Why? Because there's 330 million people in the United States. There is no chance that I can talk to everybody. So at the end of the day, if I take somebody to talk to my sister because my sister won't listen to me, I don't care. There's 1,000 million other people out here I can talk to. Stop holding on to the two people that you know really well and realize that you need to get training so you can service the other 330 million if they come to you. Does that make sense? Awesome. Okay, moving on. The common mistakes that happen on appointment setting. You set up the wrong type of appointment. I just kind of talked about this, but I set up a kitchen table with Luke, or I set up a recruit appointment with my best friend, Angie. right? They need to be set the other way. And we're going to talk about how to qualify people in a minute. But if you have people that are married with kids and you're setting up recruit appointments with them, you're doing it backwards, the success ratio is going to be lower if you do it backwards. Trust me. I didn't think it was going to be. I didn't believe it. I tried to do it differently. But the reality is, guys, listen, like you have to set them up the right way. We're not following the script, right? You're throwing up red flags. Hey, I want you to join my team. Hey, come buy life insurance from me. Guys, nobody wants to do either of those things. Let's just be real. Okay. Nobody wants to join your team. Nobody wants to talk about life insurance. Nobody wants to have less money, quote unquote, they think at least, than what they should have. But at the end of the day, we can service them and there's an opportunity for them to make very good money here. You all would agree with me on that, correct? So why are we stopping learning the script? Or sorry, why are we not learning the script the right way? You, by not learning the script are impacting the potential for somebody to join your business or for somebody to get helped by you because you're stubborn and you're not learning the script. You're going off the script and it's influencing the amount of appointments that you're setting in a negative way because you're trying to do it your own way rather than following the script here. Okay. Guys, you're setting up one-legged appointments. Ready? This is my biggest pet peeve. Do not set up an appointment with your brother and your sister-in-law and your sister-in-law not show up or your brother not show up and just the other person does. Why? That's a one-legged appointment. And what's going to happen, Brian, is we're going to close life insurance on Bob and Sally, and we're going to have an appointment set up to get back and do their FNA, and Sally's not there, and Sally gets all pissed that Bob set up life insurance, and they cancel everything, and it's bad for the trainer, it's bad for the business. They're not going to ever talk to you again because you didn't set it up the right. I'm just being real with you. I'm not saying, maybe I shouldn't say they're never going to talk to you ever again, but the reality is they're going to lose respect for your business because both spouses weren't there. And it caused a little bit of a rift in the relationship because they made a decision without the other one being there. We need both people present. Does that make sense, guys? Type that in the chat. Both people. You need both spouses there. Here's the other reality. If they're not married yet, but they live together, they have kids together, they're paying bills together, y'all, they're freaking married for all intents and purposes of what we're doing. You need both of them there, okay? I'm just telling you guys, you could not like what I'm telling you, or you could agree that what I'm saying, or you could realize that what I'm telling you is true and just play by the rules of the game. Okay? Like, feel free. You could take a hockey stick on a baseball diamond and try to hit a baseball with it, but it's not going to work very well. So you do what you want to do, but I'm just telling you guys that you're going to have better luck with a baseball bat than you are with a hockey stick on a baseball field. Okay? So you got to understand this, guys. And this is one of my biggest pet peeves, guys, is setting up appointments during training. I understand that sometimes appointments run long and we might be a little bit late to training. But y'all know the times for our meetings, yes or no? So stop setting up recruit appointments and kitchen tables in the middle of our training appointments. Imagine if your entire team did that. How many people would you have on training? 0, right? How many people are going to be getting better that day? 0, right? You're shooting yourself in the foot with a little bit of temporary success, and you're delaying long-term gains and long-term growth of your entire organization by setting a bad example for going on appointments instead of going on training and doing the appointment after. Guys, I guard my training times with my freaking life. I'm serious. I've never run an appointment during training ever. Because what example does that show to our 50 people getting on training if I'm not there? And then in the middle of training, I post, just close the $400 life app. I'm saying that $400 a month or that $400 of commission is more important to me than training the other 50 people on my team the right way. Oh, but Dan, I don't have anybody on my team yet. Yeah, because you're thinking wrong, right? Because you're thinking about right now rather than where you're going to be in 6 months, and how every one of you should have 50 people on every call in 6 months. I'm just being real with you. You could have 50 people on every call in 90 days. 90 days ago, I had 7 or 8 people showing up on trainings. Cassie and Karen know. We had 7 to 10 people showing up on trainings. Right now on a Saturday, kind of last minute, there's 26 people on a freaking appointment setting boot camp. Not even a normal training time. We broke 50 for the first time in over a year on Tuesday night's training. Like, there is no reason that you can't have over 50 people on a meeting right now, but it's how important is it to you? Oh, Dan, I have class. Sweet. Schedule next semester's class at a different time, right? It's, oh, I have a personal training client I got to work with. Awesome. Tell them you're not available at that time anymore, starting in a month, and block off the time. Hey, my kid has baseball practice. Awesome. I love it. It's on Zoom. Hop on and listen. Put an earbud in. Like, guys, I'm just being honest, and I will never give you soft coaching. Why? Because that's going to produce soft results, and it's going to take you longer to get to where you want to go. I will always tell you the things that you need to hear, not the things necessarily that you want to hear. And the reality is, guys, if you're setting up appointments during training, you are telling everyone else that you are more important right now in this moment than the growth of your business and the growth of your team and the growth of your mindset. Okay. Again, you could like it, or you could realize that what I'm telling you has some backbone to it, and just realize that we don't do that anymore. Okay. So appointments are set up as kitchen tables. They have three things with kids. So they're macho, M-A-C-H-O, married, age 25 to 65. They have children, have a house, have a job. Okay. There are 4 or 5 of those things, or they're in the age range, have a job and kids. Awesome. If they have kids or they're married, it's automatically a kitchen table appointment. That's the easiest way to think about it. Okay. If they have kids or they are married, it is an automatic kitchen table appointment. All right. Everyone else is a recruit appointment. So, hey, my little sister, she's 23. She goes to college. She doesn't have a job. She lives at home with my mom. No kids. Great. That's a recruit appointment. Oh, but I really want her to invest. Awesome. It's a recruit appointment first. We're going to talk to her about the business. We're going to show her the rule of 72, explain the importance of investing. And if she sees value with it, we're going to ask her to move forward one way or another. But it's set up as a kitchen table, or a recruit appointment. Okay. The flip side of that, oh man, my best friend from church, they're married, they have kids, but he would be so good at the business. Awesome. We're going to show him the value in what we do, and then present the opportunity on the back end. We're going to say, man, look at this. Like, we could save you $200 a month on your insurance. And when we do that, if you were the agent on that, you're going to make $2,000. You want to get licensed? Yeah. I'd love to get licensed, right? That's how you do it, though, guys. You show them the product first, then the recruit, and then the vice versa for the 1 or 2 pointers. So a kitchen table appointment, guys, 3 with kids, 4 or 5 macho at their home or on Zoom. Generally, it's going to be on Zoom right now. I'm not trying to have people come to the office to do a kitchen table appointment most of the time. Okay. I'm also not inviting them to my house. We're not going to Starbucks. We're doing it at their house or on Zoom. All right. We want the spouse there. That means we have 2 legs, right? We don't want to have one-legged appointments. I heard somebody say one time, I never forgot, if you set a bunch of one-legged appointments, you're just going to be hopping around in a circle in Primerica. You're never going to get to be where you want to be, because you're never going to close things. You're just going to be hopping around in a circle. Literally, you're going to go back and forth. I can't close business. I'm not closing. You're going to go to the appointment, then you're going to hop your way all the way back to your trainer and say, I didn't close. Then you're going to go back to the appointment again on another one leg. And you're going to, it's just this endless, vicious circle, guys. Trust me. Make sure the spouses are present. The verbal confirmation when you set the appointment. Hey, listen, I'm going to have my trainer with me, or, hey, it's very important to me that you're there. Don't make me look bad. I'll see you at Thursday at 5:00. Awesome. It's not a text. Hey, are you still okay to meet at 5:00? No. Hey, here's the Zoom link, Jenna. I'll see you and Dustin at 5:00. Can't wait to meet with you. It's that exciting. It's the excited voice that they hear, right? And you lead with the products. And then you're following up with the opportunity. So here's how it works, Seth. We close life insurance. After we close life insurance, hey, so on a scale of 1 to 10, Seth, seeing what I just saw, the way I did it, if I could help you make an extra $1,000 to $1,500 a month with the process that I just did with you, and you could help other people do the same. 1 being not interested at all, and I hate making money. Number 10 being I'm very interested and I'd love making extra money. Where would you say you'd find yourself, 1 to 10? And just let them answer. And if it's an 8, 9, or 10, I'm recruiting them right there. If it's a 7 or lower, we're going to do the financial needs analysis. I'm going to show them that they need to make money, and then I'm going to recruit them to that. Okay. So just understand that we're following up with the opportunity. On a recruit appointment, they're 1 or 2 pointers. It's a Zoom call or it's at the office. Okay. So if you're in Tampa, bring them into the office, guys, because that immediately gives you a ton of credibility and validity in the business when they see 20-something doors with people's names on it and all the investment partners, and it's in an office building. It's just different, right? But if you're not in Tampa, guys, it's a Zoom call, and make sure your Zoom background looks good, right? Like, Like Luke has a pretty good a clean Zoom background. I'm trying to click through right now to see. I'm gonna pick on a couple people that have some good backgrounds right now. Don't be mad at me if I tell you you don't have a good background, right? I don't have a good background right now. Luke's is probably the best at the moment, that I can see at least. Yeah, Luke's is the best. Keys is pretty good too with a virtual background. Seth's is pretty clean. Guys, you want it to be like that. You don't want to be laying down in your bed. Brandy's is pretty good. Like Amber's right now, guys, don't do what Amber's doing on your appointments, okay? So I'm not picking on you, Amber. I'm sorry, but you don't want to be like laying in your bed giving an appointment, right? So Amber, we love you. Thank you for being on the call. We appreciate you. But we definitely don't want you running appointments from laying in the bed, right? Why? Because that doesn't look good, right? To run an appointment. It's cool to be on the appointment, but don't run the appointment laying down. All right, guys. So Zoom call or at the office, verbal confirmation again. You're leading with the opportunity. You're talking about the products on the back end. And so, guys, appointment setting mastery, we're going to rip through this stuff really quick. The only person that ever makes a mistake is the person that doesn't do anything, right? Screenshot that, write it down, whatever you need to, guys. The only way you never make a mistake is by not doing anything. So maybe you live this perfect life, right? But you probably also lived inside of a box by yourself and never talked to anybody. Guys, I've messed up way more than anybody else on this team on Primerica, hands down. But I also have the most appointments going on, so we have the most things happening, right? Also, don't be an asshole, right? A person that continuously asks for advice, but then does the opposite. Like, oh, Dan, can you help me with this? Can you do this? Can you help me set up appointments? I really need some help with this. And then you don't do the things that we tell you to do. That's an asshole, right? Don't do that. Okay. Guys, phone call components. So when you're setting up your appointment, this is how you set the appointment. 20 seconds or less. Hey, Tammy, how are you? This is Dan. Hope you're doing amazing. Awesome. Hey, listen, the reason I'm calling is I'm not really sure if I told you or not. I'm working on some financial licensing. I need to get some training. When's 20 minutes? That would work for you. So as far as us getting together, what's better for you? Weekends or weekdays? Guys, there's no open-ended questions. Hey, would you be interested? No, they're not interested, right? Have you thought about getting life insurance? They have, but they haven't done it already, so they're not going to do it now. Do you want to join my team? No, nobody wants to join your basketball team, right? They don't know what you're talking about. Like, don't ask those things. Yes or no. What's better for you, Monday or Tuesday, weekends or weekdays? Everybody type yes or yes in the Zoom chat. Understanding that yes or yes component will set you free in your appointment setting abilities. And then the post close. Hey, do you keep a schedule in your phone? Do you use Google, whatever? Don't forget to write it down. Hey, what's your email? I'll send you a confirmation. Did you get the confirmation? Things like that. Whatever works for you. Ian always used to say, unless you or I die, Brandy, I'll see you Thursday at 5. Okay. I don't like that one. That's just my opinion. I'm not a fan of that one. I just couldn't bring myself to say, Angie, unless you or I die between now and Thursday. I just could never bring myself to say that. So instead I would say, hey, Angie, I'm going to have my trainer with me. He's going to be there. Don't make me look stupid. Okay. I'll see you Thursday at 5 o'clock. It's very important to me that you get there. I'll see you Thursday at 5. Whatever you got to say, but close it, lock it down, guys. Get the commitment for them to be there. So screenshot this, guys. This is the kitchen table script, right? So I'm not even going to read it, but I'm just going to tell you what it says. So, hey, listen, the reason I'm calling is I'm not really sure if I told you or not, but I actually just started a part-time job. I wanted to set up a time for me and my trainer to pop by and show you what exactly it is that I'm doing. So that way, if you or Susan in the future would either need what we need or need what we do, or you feel comfortable referring people to me, you'd be able to do that. So as far as us getting together, what would be better for you, weekends or weekdays? That was fast, not prepared, not in the mindset to set an appointment, but I have the body down, right? It's not exact, but I have the framework, right? The skeleton is there. Guys, here's the reality. You don't need to know this thing word for word forever, but you need to know it word for word in the beginning. So that way you can understand how it works, because you could drop me anywhere in any environment, in any setting, and give me a reason as to why I'm calling somebody, and I can figure out a way to set up an appointment for it. Like, oh, hey, Brandy, I saw Timmy just crushed. I just wanted to say congratulations on your kids. They did amazing. It was super cool. I saw that they've won their karate tournament. That's awesome. You guys doing good? Yeah, we're doing great. Awesome. Hey, so the reason I was calling, obviously, I want to tell you congrats on Timmy's karate tournament. But, I started working in the financial services industry. I wanted to see when you and Bob would be able to jump on a Zoom call so I could show you what it is that I'm doing. What's better for you guys, weekends or weekdays? and you just walk them right through it. But you can't do that if you don't know the framework, right? You have to understand the framework. You got to understand the skeleton of the appointment setting thing, right? So take a picture of that, guys. You got about 5 seconds, and I'm going to go to the next slide. All right, you got a little bit more time than 5 seconds. I got to let Taylor in the hotel room. Hang on 1 second. What's that? Okay. So don't pause awkwardly in the middle of this either, guys. Like if you're like, so I'm getting some financial licenses. They're like, no, not interested, right? Right in the middle of that. Don't do that. Don't stop. Just get all the way through it. So do's and don'ts on your phone calls, right? No silence during the body. Just talked about that. People are going to create objections if you stop talking. Like, oh, no, we're all set. No, you're not. That's fine. Don't sit down when you're setting up your appointments. That might sound stupid for you. Like, oh, why can't I sit down while I'm doing my appointment setting script? Well, your energy level, people feel your energy, right? Jerome Cooper is actually Cassie and I, or Jerome and I have a 50-50 of Cassie and her team for our teams. And Jerome is one of the RVPs in the office, and he literally paced a ring, a carpet like trail in the carpet in the Rochester Hills office, because he would walk around in circles in the office and set appointments. There was literally a path beaten into the carpet from this guy walking around and talking on the phone. I would never see him sitting down setting up appointments. So guys, get up off your feet, or get up off your butt, excuse me, and stand up. Have energy, be excited. Like maybe you got to jump up and down a little bit. Maybe you got to do a couple push-ups or burpees or whatever. I don't know what it is, but you got to get yourself in a better mindset when you make your phone calls. People can feel your energy through your phone. You need to be excited. You need to be, there needs to be a reason for them to follow you, right? And smile, guys. It's crazy, but like when, hey, I don't know if I told you or not, but like be excited about that. Like smile. Hey, I started a new business. I'm fired up about it. It's going to be amazing. Like smile about it. Be excited about where you're going, guys. And then shut up after you've asked the questions. Hang on. Don't take a picture yet. Don't cheat. I wanted to leave it on that last one for a minute. So after you've asked your question, stop. In sales, guys, there's a rule: whoever talks first loses. Okay. So, hey, as far as us getting together, Brandy, what's better for you guys, weekends or weekdays? And then shut your mouth and don't talk. I hear you guys all the time. What's better for you, weekends or weekdays? Like, I know you're busy, but like, maybe we could do like Saturday morning. No, like weekends or weekdays. And then just like hold your hand over your mouth if you need to. I'm dead serious, because you're going to create the objection. You're going to confuse the hell out of your people. Stop. Just ask the question and stop talking. So the full recruit script, guys, this is the recruit script. Take a picture of it. Give them 2 options. Hey, listen, the reason I'm calling, I want you to take a look at something I'm doing on the side. I think this would be a great fit for you. This is going to be something that's full-time for me. As far as us jumping on a quick Zoom call so I can show you what we're doing, when can you give me 30 minutes? What's better for you, today or tomorrow, weekends or weekdays, Thursday or Friday? It doesn't matter. Just give them 2 options. Guys, notice I'm never saying, are you interested? Will you join my team? Do you want life insurance? Never, ever, 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 ever am I asking a question like that. It's always today or tomorrow, Saturday or Sunday, weekdays or weekends, right? It's always like that. Why? Because you give them the yes or yes option. So master the script, guys. You need to master the script so that they become conversational. I know a couple of you guys have been raising your hands. I'll get to questions in just a second. Cassie or Karen or Elian, can one of you put the appointment setting audio in the Telegram chat, please? Master them so you can go off the script and come back, right? Hey, I know, listen, Connie, I understand that your cat has herpes, and I'm really sorry about that, but I really want to show you what I'm doing. It's important, right, that you see this. So what's better for you, weekends or weekdays? Like after you get the cat's herpes cream, what's going to be better, weekends or weekdays? Right? Weekends. Awesome. Sweet. Brandy, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like give you graphic images right there. I saw your face. You're like, oh God. But you could throw any freaking reason at me as to why you can't do it, and I'll just bring it right back to closing the appointment. Because I've mastered it, right? My trainer told me to master it. And he said, you'll make 6 figures if you master this thing. And I was just dumb enough to listen. Like some of you guys are like, I don't know. That's not true. What's that? Yeah, Taylor's like, it can't be that easy. Guys, I'm dead serious. It is that easy. Like, you just got to get on enough appointments. And you do that by mastering this. Master them so you don't say the wrong words. I have a business opportunity. I want to recruit you. I have a job for you. I'm building my team. My personal favor, I want you to be under me, right? Don't say that. You're going to go to jail if you say that to the wrong person. Like, don't do that, guys. I'm dead serious. You'll be like, the crap that I hear people say, Seth, is astronomical. It just blows my mind. Like, why did you think that was a good idea to tell them you want them to be under you on your team? Like, don't do that. I literally heard somebody say that the other day in the office, not on our team, on a different team. And I just started dying. This was even after the appointment setting, after the freaking Super Saturday that we had. It was even after that. It was like, oh my goodness. Guys, master the audio so you say the right stuff. Okay? Don't go off the script. It shouldn't take you more than a day or two max to master it. Guys, listen to the audio over and over and over again for like a week or a couple days. Guys, that audio is going to give you the ability to set up appointments at will. Okay? Guys, I'm telling you, it's so important. And guys, the close, when you're closing the appointment, which means when you're setting up the appointment, you're assumptive. Hey, what's better for you, weekends or weekdays? You're assuming that they're going to get on with you. Never ask them, what do you think? Never ask them a yes or no question. Okay. So, hey, as far as us getting together, Brandy, so you can check this out. What's better for you guys, weekends or weekdays? Weekends. Sweet. Perfect. Saturday or Sunday? Saturday. Morning or night? Night. 5 or 6? 6. Cool. What's your email? You just yes or yes questions all the way to the time that they give you a time. It's that simple, guys. And the post close is to avoid rescheduling. Always ask them, did you put it in your schedule? Did you write it down? What's your email? Whatever. You're going to have a laptop or a phone available so you can get on Zoom, correct? Make sure you have Zoom downloaded. And then here's the whole unless you or I die thing. And then make sure if you do say that one, just chuckle a little bit. Hey, so unless you or I die, like, you're not going to die, right? But unless we do, you're going to get together. Guys, the best investment you can make is in yourself. The best investment you can make in your Primerica business is learning how to set up appointments, period. Actually, I would even go so far as to say the best investment you could make in your personal growth, period, is learning how to set up appointments. Because you could take your skill that you learn here to set up appointments and you can go to do a Mary Kay business and you could still win. Yeah, you could even take all the skills that we teach you here, Elian, and go sell vacations and still do well. Okay? That's an inside joke. Some of y'all don't understand that. That's okay. It's over your head. But overcoming objections. Ready? I'm going to rip through these super quick and then we're done. So first off, if you want to make 6 figures or above, master the fundamentals. The first thing you need to do is teach them how to set up the appointments, right? So master it, teach your team to master them, and then get really good at it, right? So Brandy, you got to learn it, but don't learn it to learn it. Learn it to teach it to your team that you're going to have in the future, right? We're going to learn it to teach to our team, right? So you're going to learn the appointment setting audio so that you can teach other people how to do it. That's it. And you're going to get really, really, really freaking good at this thing. Your goal should be to be the best appointment setter on the whole team, always. Anytime you run an appointment setting contest, Tammy, you should be trying to win every freaking one, period. Okay? The enemy of being great is being good. And here's my favorite thing, the Dunning-Kruger effect, right? You're going to start, guys, you're going to like go 3 days into the business, you're going to get 10 recruits, and you're at the peak of Mount Stupid. You're like, I know everything. I am the best. Right. And then 2 weeks later, you're like, crap, I got to do it by myself. And you're like, all right, this sucks. Like, you're in the valley of despair because you got to do it by yourself. Your trainer's not with you anymore because now you're independent. Right. And you start, Brandy, getting better and better and better and better and better and better. And you start realizing like, okay, this really isn't that hard. But what happens is this is in everything, right? Even in basketball, like you go out, you get a basketball, you go out to your front yard or your driveway, you shoot a couple baskets. You're like, dang, I'm pretty good. And then you go and you jump into a pickup game at the YMCA and you get absolutely murdered. You're like, oh crap, I suck at basketball. Like, I thought I was good because I was by myself, right? But that's the peak of Mount Stupid. And then you end up in the valley of despair, right? Because you realize like, I'm not as good as I thought I was. But here's the cool thing. You can practice and develop your skills and get better and better and better. And there's no plateau if you try to get continually better, right? Now, it's important that you understand that everybody goes through that. But this is the biggest thing, guys. You got your dreams and mediocrity, right? Your dreams and your comfortability at the bottom. On the one hand side, you're complacent, you're comfortable. But on the other side, if you shift into that other lane, on the outside of that, you have frustration, discouragement. Guys, I would rather be frustrated and discouraged than complacent and comfortable all the time. Why? Because if I'm frustrated, it means that I'm facing a problem that once I fix it, it's going to take my life to another level, right? If I'm discouraged, it means that I'm doing something big and something's not working the way I want to. Something's not clicking. The gears aren't lining up. And once I line the gears up, what's going to happen? Explosion in the business, right, guys? And so if you're going to be a leader in the business, you're going to feel like you're going the opposite way. Guys, I'm dead serious too. When I'm on the highway, I don't want to be going the same direction as all the other traffic, right? If you're like, I love going the opposite direction of the traffic jam. Why? That means I'm going the right way. If everybody wants to be over here, I'm going the other way. Why? Because that means over there's opportunity, right? And that's just how I've lived my life. You just got to understand that that's just how it is sometimes. And guys, there may be people that have more talent than you, but there's no excuse for you not to work harder than everybody else. You determine your output. You determine your ability to get better. Nobody else does, right? I might be better than you, but there's no reason that you can't work harder or vice versa. And here's the best part, guys. When you're good and you work hard, you're untouchable. Like, I don't say untouchable, but you're going to beat a lot of people just by being good and working hard, right? And that's just the truth. You just got to understand that. So people need to see that you know what we do is good. I talked about that earlier. You're going to give them the confidence over the phone, and then you are not for sale, right? You're not, oh, well, if it's okay with you, if it pleases the crown, right? That's my favorite thing. If it pleases the king, I would love to meet with you guys. Nope. We're doing it. Schedule your own financial needs analysis and freaking do what it says, right? There's 22 people on here. There's no way that all of you have met with your trainer, done a financial needs analysis, got your own life insurance, your own investments and stuff like that in place. Meet with your trainer and do what it says, so that way you can be an example to the people you're talking to. Because people are going to ask you, do you have your life insurance here? They will, I promise you. You need to be a client yourself. I already talked about that. And you need to look at like your PLPPs and stuff like that. Just look at it. At least look into this. That way you can tell people like, look, I trust my family's financial security with what we're doing here. And you'll have that conviction that what we do is really right for people, right? So the objections you're going to run into: affirm, answer, close. Don't confront them. You're consulting them. Hey, I understand your concern, right? Solve the problem. As far as us getting together, what's better, Wednesday or Thursday, right? So the objection is to test your confidence. So be confident when you respond to them. And guys, write them down on cue cards and have them in alphabetical order. So, hey, my schedule. Okay, flip to the S's. Schedule. Okay, I know you're busy. I get it. And then you answer the question. I got to talk to my wife. Great. I definitely want you to talk to your wife. Generally, when are you guys available? What's better generally for you guys, weekends or weekdays? And you just lock it down. Guys, you're going to get really good at this. And always, as far as us getting back together, right? Because if you stop, if you answer the problem, Randy, if you solve the problem and then you just stop talking, they're going to give you another objection. So answer the objection, and then as far as us getting together, what's better, weekends or weekdays? You always go back to that. You circle back around to that, right? So screenshot these. I'm not going to read them. You can read them. They're all in the appointment setting audio. You have about 5 seconds to screenshot this one or take a picture of it. This is the I need to talk to my spouse. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, moving on. Next one. This one is the I'm super busy. You got about 5 seconds. What company is it? What do you do? It's a great question. Help people with insurance, investments, pay less on taxes, blah, blah, blah. So that's it, guys. I mean, I know there's a couple more slides, but that's essentially all that we needed to talk about. What questions, if any, do you guys have for me real quick? I have about 5 minutes. Amber's had her hand up for about 45 minutes. So Amber, I'll let you go first. If you want to go ahead and ask your question, go for it. Sorry for picking on you for laying with the baby during the call.
Listen, the fact that I have a newborn just me and I can still get on a call just means that everybody else needs to get on a call. That's all I'm saying.
Right. I'm sorry for picking on you.
What was I? No, I'm not offended at all. It was quite funny. What was my question? Now you made me forget. Okay. So as far as like, say like you're on the call and or like you're in front of somebody at a KT or a recruit appointment and you get referrals. how do you like, are you gonna immediately ask them for that person? Like, if like you're like, oh, do you have anybody in mind that's, that this would be a good fit for? And they're like, oh yeah, I have my friend Bob. Would you be like, oh, what's Bob's name and number? Like, how do you go about, and then would you call that person, or how
I
does that work?
will do a how to get a referral and what to do with it, like whole boot camp type thing, either next weekend or the weekend after that. Is that
Sweet.
cool?
Yeah.
That's
Does that,
a much longer answer than the amount of time that I have right now, and I want to take questions specifically about setting up initial appointments. So that's a good question. I'm not trying to blow you off. Remind me
no,
later.
you're good.
Text me. I will do something like that either next weekend or the following. Not
Okay.
the following. It's leadership school in Tampa Bay, so we'll do it. We'll do it next week. Everybody type happy birthday, Amber, in the Zoom chat real quick. Apparently it's her birthday. Everybody type happy birthday. But
Funny.
great job, Amber. Great question. Thank you, Luke. What's up?
So when it comes to the KT appointments, I mean, for example, well, first of all, happy birthday, Amber. But I also want to say with the recruit appointments, I mean, there's a PDF that I have for that. Is there a PDF presentation for Zoom that I can show people for KTs as well?
It's exactly the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's exactly the same presentation with two different questions at the end, which I will go over. I went over recruiting earlier this week. I'll go over kitchen tables early this week on the 8 a.m. calls this coming week.
Okay,
So
cool.
hop on those. Hey, if you guys don't know, like shameless plug to go follow my YouTube channel for no reason other than literally every training, including this one, is on my YouTube channel. It's just Dan Romai. Just go subscribe to it. I don't do anything other than Primerica trainings on that channel. So go subscribe to it. Every wake up call, not every, I shouldn't say not every. Sometimes YouTube hates me and doesn't let me do it. Almost every single wake up call, this is on there. Like a lot of trainings are on there, and it's labeled by the date. So if you're like, man, I missed last Tuesday, you could go get the date and search wake up call from 4/18 or whatever it was, and it's there. Hang on, my kids are trying to break into my hotel room. Tammy, I'm coming back to you. 1 second. Good. You coming in here? Or you going out there? What are you guys doing? Okay. Okay, Tammy, what's up?
Okay, so is it a bad thing to say to people that you're trying to? I was actually prospecting, and I was talking to the lady, and I was like, okay, so because she was asking about the business, and of course, I was like, okay, I'm gonna send you this text, and you put it on the calendar link with me, myself and my son, who's my trainer. And I said, okay, I'm on a call right now. So just to let her know that it's a legit business. Is that okay to say?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I would just, curiosity kills the cat, right? So I always just try to leave it, I don't want to say vague, but I try to do as little as I can in terms of like trying to explain it to them when I meet with them. Like, hey, what is it? Well, it's financial services. Glad you asked. We're gonna get back together. We'll go over everything. We'll go over everything like on Tuesday when we meet up or whatever. So I just try to, I don't want to say give no info, like I don't give no information. I give them information if they ask for it. But you also got to be convinced that what we're like, it'll come out in your conversation that you're excited about it, and that's going to be what draws them to it more so than what it actually is. All right. Anybody else got any questions? That was a good question, Tammy. Anybody else got any other questions? I got time for one more. Yes. Whoever just raised their hand. Amber, what's up? Welcome back.
Hi. So I'm just gonna go ahead and embarrass myself because yesterday I was doing a call, and I'll just go ahead and say I did not go off the script, but that's probably the first problem. But for example, what if somebody brings up the fact that they already work for a brokerage and they're already making really good money and they sell IULs?
Yeah. So that's a whole nother conversation in and of itself. Do you want to know how I would answer that question or what I would tell you to do? Because those are probably different answers. So I would ask them, what would it take for you to double your money? Number one. What would it take for you to double your income? Number two, do you have the freedom and the flexibility and the schedule that you want? And number three, are you aware that you're ripping people off? I will straight up ask an IUL agent, like, do you know that you're ripping people off, or are you just not like, were you just trained on how to sell that and not how it actually works? Because a lot of times they're just trained on how to sell it. They don't really understand it.
Yeah.
And so if they're open to, but a lot of times they're not, because they're going to make $5,000 selling one of those pieces of garbage to somebody. So they're just money hungry. And at that point, that tells you enough about their character that I don't need to hear anything else from them. And so they probably won't join, but that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, follow the script first off. That'll help. That'll help a lot. And then if you know that they're an agent, a life insurance or an investment advisor, whatever, definitely take your trainer with you. Even if you're independent, running stuff by yourself, take me or somebody with you that has experience, because I could show them how they're going to double their money, how they could do everything the right way and make a lot more money here. And so you need to have somebody that understands the comp a little bit better than you with you, which at this point probably is myself, Karen, Cassie, Elion, would probably be your best bet to take with you right now. No offense to other people that might know things, but take people that understand our business with you to be able to break stuff down for them and really walk them through it. And you're going to learn a lot on those appointments too. But take somebody with you that understands a little bit better. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for jumping on this morning, guys. So don't forget, guys, this weekend you close any amount of premium between now and Sunday night at midnight. And you're going to get on that call with Tyler Zimmerly next week. It's going to be explosive, guys. Don't miss that. Any amount of premium at all. Literally any amount. It doesn't matter. So go close out a Life app, guys. Have an amazing day.